This is John Paul Rai. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan, and I got a video here that has a very interesting premise. First of all, as you guys know, cancellations are definitely happening. We've got Johnny Depp, who has been canceled for allegations alone. He did nothing wrong. We've also got Dave Chappelle, who made a couple of jokes in a comedy act, and now his George Floyd movie is getting canceled, and he can't sell the thing the day after he made those remarks. Also, he's had some heat from Netflix. So what I'm saying is, cancellation happens. However, it could be that the tide's changing and that allegations alone and jokes alone might not get you completely canceled with everyone across the board. Because Marilyn Manson and Dababy are now up for a Grammy nomination. And Grammys are a Hollywood establishment. And Hollywood are the people who pretty much started these cancellations. Corporations followed in, but it's largely Hollywood. So it's a very good sign that the Grammys are somewhat ignoring the jokes Dababy made and the allegations against Manson. Now, if you're not up on Dababy, he made what people say are homophobic remarks at a concert. I read it. Alright, I can see how people are upset, but I think all in all, it's no big deal. It's not worth all the trouble, the drama, the fighting. Yeah, people should say, hey, Dababy, don't say that, this and that. But all in all, I don't think it's really something to get super upset about. And of course, with Manson, he's got the allegations against him, and I assume the Grammys are just pushing forward and judging him on his music performance alone, and that's right. Because it's innocent until proven guilty in the United States. That's how it is. If you don't like it, you've got your opinion. You could think the person's guilty, but until you actually prove it, they're innocent. Anyway, let's take a look. And here you see it, nonetheless, from Yahoo News, who just the other day put out an incredibly negative article about Manson siding with the abusers and also showcasing how an HBO executive also sides with the abusers, but now they got something somewhat positive about Manson. Marilyn Manson and Dababy receive Album of the Year Grammy nominations due to rule change. Alright, like I said, sounds interesting. The post Marilyn Manson and Dababy receive Album of the Year Grammy nominations due to rule change appeared first on Consequence. Thanks to a new rule change, Marilyn Manson and Dababy each have the opportunity to take home their first Grammy next year. They are both nominated for appearing on Kanye West's latest effort, Donda, which received a nod for Album of the Year. So, thanks to Kanye West, Marilyn Manson is not cancelled. And they go on to say, prior to an amendment announced by the Recording Academy in late May, only contributors credited on at least 33% of the album's playing time were eligible in the prestigious category. This restriction was lifted with the intent of acknowledging the work of traditionally overlooked collaborators like songwriters, producers, and engineers who often go unrecognized for their key participation in recording an album. As a byproduct, two of the more toxic figures in music are eligible to pick up a Grammy win next year. Well, they have to throw in their silly little opinion. I don't consider these two very toxic. They might say things people don't like once in a while, but I don't know. I think toxic's a little bit overboard of a critique. West recruited Dababy and Manson to appear on Jail Part 2, reviewing their controversial features by bringing them out during a Donda listening party at Chicago's Soldier Field in late August. Dababy also is nominated in the category for his appearance on Justin Bieber's Justice Triple Chucks Deluxe. Or is it Justin Bieber? I always mess that up because in Japan they pronounce it differently. It's Justin. You know who he is. Let's keep going. In Manson's case, the rock star has been accused by multiple women of sexual abuse. Meanwhile, Dababy delivered a homophobic and misogynist rant during his Rolling Loud Miami set in late July, leading to him quickly being dropped from a number of major music festivals. Like I said, is one comment about sucking D in a parking lot grounds for canceling some major events? He did apologize for it. It was a comment. It wasn't great. But I just don't think that crime, quote unquote, equals the punishment. We've got to get to a stage where if you just say something, the punishment equals that crime, okay? So the punishment should be you apologize. You put out a statement. You recognize. You do something maybe. Not like getting canceled from huge events because you said something. He was maybe drunk. Maybe it slipped out. Maybe, whatever happened. It just doesn't feel like saying one thing like that, one comment, should result in such terrible, terrible consequences. Same thing with Dave Chappelle. He made a few jokes on his comedy series. That doesn't mean his George Floyd movie should be canceled. One thing really has nothing to do with the other. Anyway, let's keep going. However, the latter's career is seemingly back on track. After returning to the Rolling Loud stage in New York City, he is set to embark on a headlining tour with the full support of the live music brand. Well, what do you think? Should the guy lose his career over a remark? Should a guy lose his career because he says one thing that people find offensive? Why should it even be surprising, or why should people think his career shouldn't be back on track? Marilyn Manson and Dababy aren't the only controversial Grammy nominations. Louis C.K., who was accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women, is up for Best Comedy Album. Again, the word accused is very important. It's right there. Not proven guilty in a court of law based on evidence, but accused. And there you have it. This article here got more negative than I thought initially. However, I still think it's good that they put this news out there. I mean, a big venue like Yahoo can just cover it up and bury it and not put it, with their main stories. So the fact that they put it out there that Marilyn Manson and Dababy is actually up for this Grammy, despite what's going on with them, I think all in all is pretty good. I mean, as good as we can hope from the mainstream. The mainstream is probably never going to take the side of the people with accusations. They're going to go on the bad news, the drama, because bad news sells, spicy news sells. What doesn't sell is Marilyn Manson has allegations against him, but they're probably not true. They're just allegations. There's no proof. I mean, that's not what they'll say. They need it to be drama-filled. They need it to be something that possibly has a terrible outcome, a big event outcome. So they got to exaggerate. They got to omit facts, and they got to be one-sided. So the one-sided is the accusers, the accusers, the accusers, the accusers. But they're not going to say, well, he also has these girlfriends from the past who had a completely different experience, who dated him for years and saw nothing that the accusers saw. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think below about this one here, and I'll put out a disclaimer. I'm not 100% sure Marilyn Manson did nothing, but what I am sure of is I need to see a little more evidence as far as audio, video, police report, medical report. I need something real, or I'm just going to keep saying, all right, it's looking like we got to move forward because there's no evidence. Anyway, a few words about the channel. First off, shout out to Cindy Bryden, Lotus Flower, and Carla Ellis. Lotus Flower sent me this one here. Thank you very much. Also, got a GoFundMe and a PayPal. Already on $500 in donations. Really appreciate it. Gonna get to a shout out video for that when the money gets spent saving up for a new PC, just to make the channel a little better as far as sound, quality. Not the most important thing in the world. However, it helps get the word out we think is right. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you consider it and still don't subscribe, I guess I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.